Welcome to Magic Monday, episode 9. Hold on one second. I've got it up here. I just need to make sure that it is muted. So, I'm Davy.
And I'm Tracy.
From DavyandTracy.com. Welcome to Magic Monday, the weekly YouTube live stream show where we explore connecting to nature for mental, emotional, spiritual healing and well being.
We do that through tarot, oracle cards, connecting to the moon phase, and nature rituals, nature magic.
So I'm just pulling up.
Yeah, I forgot. I wanted to use my tarot deck.
Oh yeah, I've got to mute this too.
Until I saw.
Yeah, we're just give me a second here. Oops. Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm not going to worry about the iPad today.
We just thought of that about 3 minutes for the live stream. We were like, maybe we should use the iPad.
We had all morning to prepare, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, we're starting in 3. We're live in 3.
Yeah. Painting, you can see.
All right. So, if you're watching this live, thanks for joining us. If you're watching a recording, thanks for watching this. Don't forget to hit the like, the subscribe, comment, interact.
Let us know where you're watching from too. It's something we've never asked. Where are you watching from? Especially if you're watching the recording. We'd love to hear where you're from.
Good morning, Sarah.
This is really close. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to
It is really close, I know.
We usually prepare a little more, and I'm like, I have to get really close and be like, what's that?
A little discombobulated this morning.
Sorry. That's life. You know what? It is what it is. I know. I realize I already said this, but I forgot the deck.
I just want to make a few announcements. Stuff coming up on our website this week. So I think I mentioned this a couple weeks ago about doing an herb garden tour, and so that is pretty much done, and I want to record that now that we're getting for the season. I am working on an article on herbs that we grow and how you can use them, and I'm preparing some space inside to overwinter some herbs. So it's a good time to put that video out there. It's not too late to grow some herbs, and I'll be talking about how to overwinter them as well in that article. So look for that. Another thing too is, I don't know if I showed you guys this. So this is the moon planner that I use for, I don't know if you can see it, but this is the moon planner that I've been using all year. I got this back in January, and this gives me all the moon phase info, and it's just a really nice planner to keep track of the moon phases and the meanings and the astrological signs that the moon goes into. So the 2021 edition of this just came out, and I did a in-depth review just to kind of show you guys what this looks like, because I snapped it up as soon as it came out. I was kind of looking for it. So I'm also going to put that video up there as well this week, and so keep an eye out for that as well. But if you're looking for some kind of moon phase tracker planner, and you like paper, you're old school like me, and you like a paper journal to write in and just open up and look, this is definitely something that I recommend a lot. And I'll put a link in the description of this video too. So it's the Astro Moon Diary, and I love it. I absolutely love the same. And I found it very helpful in my own moon practice. And do we have anything else to talk about? Okay. Well, let's get started then.
All right. Ready?
Let's candle first. So the theme of this candle is joy, right? For August. And we're gonna take 3 deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth.
So we're gonna light a little sage, and if you have something that you want to light, go ahead. If you don't, then go ahead and metaphorically use our smoke. Just kind of allow any of the negativity to just wash away. Anything that happened this morning, any stress, any frustration, just allow the smoke to just carry it away.
Or bring it to the surface so that you can process it.
This is true.
And we like to shift our energy here too. Like, so you release, you feel that void with gratitude. And so feel free, please, share what you're grateful for. in the comments. If you're watching this live, share what you're grateful for in the live chat. If you're watching the recording, post what you're grateful for in the comments. Tracy and I do back and we check them, and I think it's just a good idea. Anyways, just put what you're grateful for out there into the universe.
Is something wrong with the? I'm sure it's not wrong with you guys, but for some reason ours is not playing. So maybe it's.
We're still streaming, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's streaming, but I don't know for some reason.
Yeah, usually the video plays. I don't know why it's not playing.
Okay.
Oh. That's gonna start burning my fingers.
All right. Well, good morning, Sarah.
I'm just gonna go with it. I'm afraid of touching it, and then I'm gonna lose the chat. So, what are you grateful for?
I'm grateful. I got up this morning and I did a nice workout, and my son worked out with me the last 2 minutes of my workout, and it was fantastic. I like encouraging him to work out. We're doing another virtual race. My son and I. We did a couple last month. Not probably a month ago. Probably a couple weeks ago now. We did a couple virtual races. And we're getting. I have my medal. His medal's coming today, so we're gonna do his first 5K. It's going to be a virtual 5K, but we are going to do that together. So I'm excited to be able to share my fitness journey with my son. I'm grateful for that, and I'm always grateful for, roof over our head and food and
The basics of life.
yes.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for you being here with me doing this together. I'm grateful for all the stuff we got accomplished on Thursday and Friday last week. We did a lot of behind the scenes work.
Grateful for day camp for the kiddo.
Well, Davy mentioned we're working on something behind the scenes, and we're very, very excited for it. But it is slow going because we have a lot of other stuff that we're working on. So, but we got a lot done. So I'm very, very grateful for that. What are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for next year's moon planner came this week. I'm grateful for a little cooler temperatures and warmer little days, but I do enjoy the fall, even though it means winter is coming. But I do like this time of year as we come up on Mabon, which is still a month away. But I'm grateful that we are moving forward on taking our website and what we do to the next level, and it feels good to be doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm grateful, and I'm grateful for the abundant garden that is still producing fruits and vegetables and herbs and flowers and bringing butterflies and hummingbirds to the yard.
I know. I just found we have 2 kind of patches of swamp milkweed, and I just found a large caterpillar on one of our milkweeds. She brought, I don't know if it's him or her, brought them inside to turn into a chrysalis. I like being able to share that experience with other people. So yeah, that's pretty cool to still see all the activity on our garden.
Sarah says, I'm grateful that a camp scheduling issue this week for the kids was worked out and they can attend camp. I'm grateful for a weekend spent with family despite sad circumstances. Yes, we have another zucchini growing. Still have about 21 tomatoes.
Wow.
And 3 watermelon buds. Yeah, our watermelon's about that big now.
Mm-hmm.
And
hopefully it actually produces a watermelon.
Yeah, and I mean this makes me want to my dream is to have a greenhouse so I can kind of do this year round. I'm very fortunate to have a very large south-facing window, so I can pretty much grow.
I should take another picture of that.
I know. I can pretty much grow anything on that window year round, and I've tested it with a bunch of things. I just there's limited space, so it's not like I can be growing like potted tomatoes in my living room all winter, but that would be pretty cool.
Do you want to get into our... Yes, if anyone has something to share, please, even if you're not watching this live, even if ours are the size of a tiny... Yeah, I know. Sorry, I'm like...
We have a pumpkin that's about the size of a quarter, and I'm like, is that pumpkin gonna... Because that's a jack-o'-lantern pumpkin, so it'll be interesting to see. Hold on, Lunar Forecast first.
Oh, sorry, I'm jumping into it.
Tracy's ready to go with the animal wisdom. All right, so lunar forecast. So tomorrow, Tuesday, August 25th, will be a first quarter moon in the sign of Sagittarius. So last week was the new moon in Leo, and we talked about setting intentions around leadership and confidence. So if you're working through that over this moon cycle, this is the first quarter moon in Sagittarius. It would be a good time to, the first quarter moon is associated with like hustling, taking that action, but it's also a balance point. Um, you know, from where you were at intention phase to fulfillment phase. So it's a good time to reflect and look at what still needs to be done. And it's very much the first quarter moon is very much that of hustle. It corresponds with the season of spring, which is that time of preparation and emerging activity. So Sagittarius is associated with adventure, taking a risk, and getting out of your comfort zone. So basically, this week is a good week, especially tomorrow is a good time to get out of your comfort zone and take a risk and do something adventurous to further your goal, work on manifesting the intention you set last week on the new moon. Once we get into Thursday, we're going to be in that waxing gibbous moon, which is I'm not good at reading my writing. Refinement and endurance. The waxing gibbous moon is associated with refinement and endurance. So this is where you've put in a lot of work. You're putting a lot of energy and effort into this, but there's still more to go, and there's that little sliver that you're working on fulfilling. It'll be in the sign of Capricorn on Thursday into the weekend, and Capricorn is associated with structure and long-term goals. So it's a good thing to remind yourself of and keep that front of mind as you go through the last half of this week and you're working on, whatever it is you're working on, your goal, or if you're working on the intention you set, the new moon. Keep that in the forefront of your mind that, it might get uncomfortable now. There might feel like there's a lot of work. You might feel a little overwhelmed, but stay focused on your why and what you want to achieve long term with this. That's going to be a motivating factor. That's also going to keep you focused and disciplined. And then this weekend, the moon is it's still going to be a waxing gibbous moon, and it's going to be shifting into the sign of Aquarius. And Aquarius is associated with passion and love and unconventional ideas and approaches. So this weekend, it would be a good weekend to get a little playful with your goals and think outside the box and, take an unconventional approach, especially if you feel like there's an obstacle standing in your way or something. You might want to look at an unconventional way of skirting around it, or yeah, kind of raced through that, didn't I? Jen joined us. Hey, Jen. She says, I'm grateful for a friend that shared his oyster harvest with us. He gave us 4 dozen sustainably harvested oysters from Cape Cod. Oh, nice. I've been craving seafood lately.
Our son really does like seafood, not fish, but more seafood.
Right.
Yeah.
Last year we went to a picnic and they were steaming clams. And I think he went up for like 4ths or 5ths.
Oh, more than that.
And then
he had his weight in clams.
He probably did eat his weight in clams. And then he insisted on bringing every single one of those shells home to put in his collection. So when we got home from that cookout, we were like scrubbing clean clam shells so they didn't stink up his room. And he still has them. There's like a big box of them somewhere in his room. So yeah, no, those are not things that Tracy and I eat. I can't get over this.
He loves them shrimp.
Yeah, but he loves them.
All right.
Animal wisdom time.
Animal wisdom. The heron, which is something that we have.
Oh, we have herons a lot. Speaking of herons, like we're starting to get a lot of great egrets on the river here. There was one just outside on the river this week, but then we saw flocks of them flying around. And I think they're just kind of starting to migrate through.
And see them a lot more. Yeah, it's really nice to see them. Is that the bird of paradise plant?
I don't think it kind of looks like it, but I don't think it is. I think it's just marsh reeds, but it kind of has that profile.
Davy has some bird of paradise he's growing 4 of them. And so it just looks like that.
Like the flower
The flower,
shape,
the bird, yeah. Okay, so Heron is represented, the keyword is patience. Create a place in nature's stillness to be renewed. Take time alone to find balance. Step confidently toward a new purpose.
Toward your purpose.
Toward your purpose. And patience will bring you rewards. Which is something I need to
Right.
focus on being like that. The stillness is definitely something that I need to start working on too. Not working on. I've been doing it, but I'm doing it more. Every day is a thing.
Right.
To your purpose.
So it does talk about balance. Take time alone to find balance. The first quarter moon is a time of balance where the moon is half light, half dark. It corresponds to that equinox season where you're the halfway point between the winter and summer. The intention and dreaming to fulfillment of the full moon. So the Heron's a good card of balance, and then stepping confidently toward your purpose. And that's the other thing too, is the Heron kind of embodies that balance of patience and stepping confidently. The Heron kind of lives in two worlds. They live in the air and they fly, but they also get their sustenance from the water. And so they're definitely balanced in that ecosystem of air and water. So it's kind of interesting to reflect on the lessons of Heron and applying that to what you are working on during this moon cycle. And then Hydrangea is the plant wisdom for today. And this is the time of year where the hydrangeas are in bloom and reaching their peak this midsummer.
We had a hydrangea. It didn't work out.
I know. We had one of the endless summer hydrangeas, and it was a rescue from last year. And it didn't.
We moved it into a place because it was in a bad place, and so we moved it closer to the garden. But then we got so busy with the fresh planted stuff, we forgot to water it, and it was just so hot early summer, and we lost it.
So hydrangea, the keyword is transmutation. Oh wait, so Jen says I've been feeling need to do that lately. I've been trying to spend at least some time during the day to be alone outside.
We've actually started working with our son, who's going to be 7 in 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks.
Less than, yeah.
So we actually started doing, we call them focus sessions, but it's essentially teaching him to meditate and calming his mind, and we do it for 3 minutes a day. So that's something we're trying to work on and bring him into that part of just being quiet for a part of the day.
So I was just reading this while Tracy was talking. This is a really good card for this week. So hydrangea, the keyword is transmutation, and it says, "We are all affected by our environment. Hydrangea reminds you to reclaim your power through the transmuting of emotions and releasing of victimization. You not only have the ability to overcome perceived obstacles, you can extinguish them by realizing you can move through them." So the first quarter moon and then moving into that waxing gibbous moon, I often associate that with overcoming obstacles, that getting over that tipping point. It's easy to go halfway, but then that's when things get tough and obstacles rear up, and our own self-sabotaging behaviors tend to start showing up, and we feel that resistance to moving forward. And that's the time where, a lot of times it's not so much the external obstacles that hold us back, it's our own internal ones that we actually have the ability to change or shift and work on. And so I guess hydrangea is a good reminder to do that this week, especially, when you get into, when the moon shifts into Capricorn on Thursdays, to keep front of mind your long-term goals and, that's setting that structure in place to help you move through obstacles. And then the tarot card of the week is Judgement.
next week remember to use my.
Yeah, we want to rotate some of these cards. I mean, I love the animal deck and the
I
plant
do
deck.
like these too,
I love
but
these.
I also
I have
miss working
other.
with my
I know I have other decks I want to use. I wanted to like start using flowers in the night during new moons because it's a night themed flower oracle. But yeah, we have a lot of other tarot decks. So I think I've been using the Radiant Rider Waite Smith deck or Radiant Wise Spirit deck, which I love the coloration in this deck. I love how it's been recolored. But we have a lot of other decks, and I'd like to kind of rotate through some of them.
Mm-hmm.
So Judgment. Let's talk about Judgment. The Judgment card is a card of kind of I see that card of like in a way it's about making a fresh start, but it's really about kind of moving forward with a fresh approach, kind of releasing old things that have held you back, and not so much people judging you, but you kind of taking stock of your situation, taking a fair and balanced approach to your life, your goals, what you're trying to achieve, and having that kind of ultimate release of this no longer serves me, this isn't working, and you move forward, kind of like in a way a fresh start, not escaping, but sometimes also just acknowledging like this is beyond my control, or this isn't something that I can change, but what I can change is my approach, the way I think about it. And you just kind of, it represents that kind of like, okay, this is what it is, and I'm not going to get caught up in the emotion of that anymore, and I'm going to move forward.
Kind of goes with the hydrangea as far as like how you perceive your things, what you're saying to yourself, and sort of that transitioning from, because it's something that I'm kind of working with, and we've talked about before this morning, is I have a lot of negative self-talk about myself, and none of it's true. You spiral into it, and it's one of those things. I judge myself very harshly, and I shouldn't. And the thing I say to myself, how my inner voice, it's that thing I can change, and it's something that I'm working on is changing that inner voice to be more of a positive inner voice,
Right.
and working through affirmations. I don't know if anyone you guys use affirmations. It's something that I have on my desk, and eventually I tend to just start tuning them out. So I find for myself, I have to kind of swap out my affirmations, make them fresh, and make them be more powerful, so that I can kind of change the way I view, because I know I have a lot of self-discipline. I have a lot of very positive energy when I want to be, or I always have a positive energy. And that's the thing, is it's just what the voice that you say to yourself, and that's something that
Right. Well, I mean, just looking at the image on the card, I mean, it definitely looks like they're rising out of these coffins. I see them as coffins, kind of coming up from the dead, and I see that as representing our higher truth, recognizing what's keeping us bound, and being able to release that, and judge that in a way where our higher consciousness is saying, okay, this is not working, and it's time to move forward in a different direction, or be more aligned and truer to yourself, so that you can move past this, and liberate yourself from what's holding you back. To tie that in with these other cards, to do that, you need to, like the Heron card, create a place in nature stillness to be renewed, and take time alone to find balance, and then step confidently toward your purpose. With the Hydrangea, transmutation, again, reclaiming your power through the transmuting of emotions and release of victimization, and overcoming obstacles and extinguishing by moving through them. So yeah, these cards are good cards to work with this week. Let's see, let's look at the chat. Jen was saying that like we could swap out different decks for different seasons. I like what you did on occasion of recognizing seasonal changes, aspects, etc. I'd love to see you do special segments on the seasons in the Wheel of the Year. We actually want to. I'm working on a series of articles on the Wheel of the Year, and I want to do more. I want to do more about that because that's something that Tracy and I has become more like a kind of a focal point. I mean, we've been following moon phases for what, like 3 years, and also kind of we started loosely following the Wheel of the Year, and then that's become more of like a forefront in what we're doing. So I definitely would like to do that. There's actually, that made me think when Jen was talking about switching out decks with seasons. There's a winter weight, which is the Rider-Waite Smith deck, but it's colored for winter. So like the Emperor, Santa.
Let me go check on. It's off.
And I mean, it's the same line drawings from Pamela Coleman Smith, but it's just redone in a winter landscape. And so it's kind of fun. And I think that's an independent deck. I think I forget where you can get it from because you can't get it on Amazon. It's not like a mass-produced one. But I kind of want to get one because it definitely has that kind of wintry theme to it. And then Tracy's coming right back. Sarah says, Tracy, I recommend the book What to Say When You Talk to Yourself by Shad Helmstetter. It was a really good book and deals with negative self-talk and how to change that. I think that's something that a lot of us struggle with too. And sometimes you're not even aware of it. You're just kind of...
Yeah, it's like you have this dialogue in your head about, I mean, I suffer from depression. I don't know if I've mentioned that. And it's something that I'm really trying to work towards, out of. And I find that when I'm in a low day, that's when I get to be the negative. And that's that spiral of just the negative talk, which is why affirmations do so well for me, because then I can pause and be like, this is not, I'll have to make a note of that book.
Jen says, lol. I think she was talking about the winter weight, the Santa Claus is the Emperor.
Oh, yeah.
That made me think, I feel like we're jumping back and forth here. I feel that's one of the things that I love about the Green Witch Tarot, and I think one of these I used the Green Witch Tarot for this, and I love like the Green Witch Tarot kind of follows the 4 seasons throughout the deck. Yeah,
we definitely, something we want to be more aware of is like, we're trying to move more in like a circular calendar. I know we created that. We can see it over here. Dave, you want to grab that calendar, the moon phase wheel? We created this. So we're kind of following something. This is a total like mock-up paper thing.
I don't think I can see that.
What's that?
Yeah, so we created a wheel. Let's not burn it
down. Yeah, and so we're trying to follow like the Wheel of the Year along with, so each month phase, is a kind of a new beginning, and so each moon phase also has an astrological sign, which each one of those signs represents something. So we're trying to kind of put together this practice that is a ritual of calming along with following the moon phase to help us move our life forward, which then we're going to help present to you guys to kind of help you guys. So every single month it'll be something to work on as a way to move your life in a forward positive direction along with just common routine. So that is what we're working on behind the scenes, and it's inching closer to getting done, and I'm very excited. So Jen, we are working on rather than being the same every day, it's going to be definitely more seasonable.
Yeah, and I mean, I would like to do special ones of these for the Sabbats too. Yeah, Sarah says, I think it's also something we should be working with kids on how to change their talk to themselves. I think starting them young before they have major problems, so they can only help. And that's the thing, it's like we're never really taught how to talk to ourselves or how to recognize negative self-talk. It's just something that I think we learn, we kind of start doing, and you don't become aware of it until you're an adult, and then you really struggle with it. And yeah, I think it's if we can help our kids recognize that, because that's not something you learn in school.
No, well, that's the same thing about our focus session. I mean, essentially we're meditating. I've started putting some calming music on, but we have 3 minutes, and we, sit on the floor. I have him put his hands on his lap, and he can do this because he's 7. He's gonna be 7, so he can fidget. So he can do this, or he can do this. He basically can move his fingers as long as his elbows and the rest of his body doesn't move. And so it's teaching him to, like we have a fan that kind of goes tick, tick, tick. So it's kind of like you can go tick, tick, tick for the 3 minutes, but it helps. It's really helping him. And we found the more that he does it, it's just getting better in different areas. Like when he's doing Taekwondo, now he's actually able to focus when they're pausing and the instructors are speaking to him. And it's something I'm hoping will help him in school. But it's one of those things we're just trying to, work on him when he's younger. Yeah. Unless anyone else has any questions, I think it is time for our closing.
Oh, the piece of paper is missing. Nope. I got it.
I know this, but just because I'm live, I do this all the time. If I wasn't live, I'd be like, okay, I could walk you guys through it, but because it's live, I'm always like, I forget. All right. So, for all of today, I will love. For all of today, I will trust. For all of today, I will be true to myself. For all of today, I will give thanks for my many blessings. For all of today, I will be kind to my neighbor and every living thing. So we're going to take 3 deep breaths in.
All right, thanks so much for joining us. We will be back here next Monday. We'll be back here next Monday at 10 o'clock Eastern, and look for a couple new videos on our YouTube channel this week. I have, like I said, the herb garden tour that I'm going to be posting, and also the review of the Astro Moon calendar that I use, I love, I recommend, and the 2021 edition just came out.
And the newsletter. We have new changes to our
Yeah.
newsletter. So our newsletter is going to be a kind of a continuation deep dive of this.
Into what we talk about.
So you want this? Yeah, we're going to deep dive a little bit more. So make sure you sign up for it. Davy just changed it. It's davyandtracy.com/naturemagic. And we'll post a link in the bottom. But sign up for that so that way you can get, like I said, it's just going to be more of a deep dive. Once you watch this, a little bit more focused, talking more about
deep diving into what we talked about this, and that we usually send that out like Wednesdays.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, have a great week. Thanks so much for watching. Whether this is live or recorded, please comment, like, subscribe, and we'll see you next week. Have a great week.